What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we are back with the top 4 from the sealed Poland Vault Tour. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we've whittled it down to just 4 players remaining. On the left, we've got Julian with Nanklequick, the Mayor of Energy. On the right, we've got James. We've got logos in both houses. Julian is going here with Mars and Dis. James is going with Shadows and Brobnar. And if this weekend and Keyforge in general is anything to go by, Shadows has probably got a bit of an advantage at this stage. Shadows does seem to win. Hey ho, ladies and gentlemen. We do what we can. We do what we can. So, it looks like we are ready to roll here. One of these players will find the way into the final. Lots of amber shards for winning in a Vault Tour. Lots of amber shards on offer. So we start down there with a lab work. Gets himself an amber. Lets him archive a card. Oh my goodness, it's a Grunt Buggy. Grunt Buggy and a Lollop the Titanic. Now, Grunt Buggy, we had a bunch of problems on stream yesterday with Grunt Buggy. Grunt Buggy basically says that every player's keys cost 1 more amber for each power 5 creature their opponent has. That is, yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Now, Lollop the Titanic goes down straight away, and all of a sudden, already, those keys are costing 1 more amber, which is not what we're looking for. Well, it probably is what James is looking for, to be honest. That's why he played the card. It is certainly not what Julian is looking for. So we get ourselves an amber bonus there quickly. And then we got a bit of a whole whistling dart, but doesn't do anything. There's no creatures out. Ronnie Wristclots comes down to steal an amber. We've got Furtive Investments, gets another amber. And all of a sudden, we've got James just getting himself a whole bunch of amber. Oh, that looks like a Tixel Beambuckler coming down, taking out the Ronnie Wristclocks. And a couple of Zyzizic Shockworm coming down as well. Okay, so we've got a Library of Babel, drawing some extra cards. We've got a Poke, we've got a Pip-Pip, we've got a Titan Librarian, which is going to reduce the cost of forging a key. So because of that Titan Librarian, James is actually on check at the moment, rather than, you know, not being. So we're going Dis here. We've got a Shula, which steals an amber, so no longer on check, even with the Titan mechanic on a flank. And we've got a Yerk down there as well. So Library of Babel is going to go ahead and draw a card. That's going to help. We are back very much into a logos turn now. Oh, Pip taking down... No, sorry, Titan Mechanic taking down the Yerk. Okay, that's helping. So then we get a Jargoggle coming down with a card under it. Unfortunately, unable to see what the actual card under it was. Not information I've got right now. We've then got a Pip just reaping. Gets stunned because of Zyzizic Shockworm. And there are 2 Zyzizic Shockworm out at the moment. So, yeah, fair to assume that the stunning is going to happen fairly often, unfortunately. Unless you can take out both of them. Of course, James has got a Pip on his side, so basically anytime anybody reaps in this game, they're getting stunned. It is, shall we say, not ideal. So we get down an Igor, gets you to look at top 3 cards of your deck. You get to keep one and discard the other one. Or the other 2, sorry. But there's very little search in Keyforge. So even though it's not a particularly great search card, it's kind of it's the best we've got. Okay, so we do see Titan Mechanic going down here. Oh, we see Unlocked Gateway. We see everybody going down here. And because the Jargoggle is destroyed on Julian's turn, that means that James archives the card under it. So neither player in too much danger of forging a key right now. James has 5 amber. Julian has 3 amber. So we're not too close to it happening yet. So we get another Jargoggle coming down. Okay, so they're just trying to figure out exactly what's going on here. Oh, no, there was an Archimedes with the board wipe, which means that the Jargoggle gets archived, which means the card under Jargoggle should then get discarded. So, down comes Merkins, lets you play either the top card of your opponent's deck or a random card from their archives, as if it were your card. It's an Unlocked Gateway. He plays, an Unlocked Gateway is an Omega card at end of your turn. So he plays Merkins, hits Unlocked Gateway, loses Merkins, his turn ends, it is over. Not the ideal situation there, ladies and gentlemen. Not the ideal situation there at all. Hey-ho. So Lash of Broken Dreams comes down. And then we get ourselves another one of them there Yerks, although it is an old Yerk, so 2 cards have to be discarded. Oh no, it's an ancient Yerk. 3 cards get discarded. And that's his turn. But James isn't forging a key, so it's not the end of the world. Sneck Lifter comes in, takes control of an enemy artifact. Lash of Broken Dreams. And then uses Life for a Life to gain an amber and take out both the creatures on the board. Throwing Stars or Whistling Darts comes in, but all it really does is just give him an amber. And James is ending his turn there, sitting with 7 amber. That ain't bad, ladies and gentlemen. That ain't too bad. He's on check. He's ready to forge. Neither player's been able to keep creatures out for more than like a turn in this game so far. And remember that Grunt Buggy is always there threatening to screw up the maths of how to actually forge a key. But we'll pay attention. We'll try and make sure. Yesterday it did get extremely complicated trying to figure out exactly who had how much amber and why and all of that. But we'll do the best we can, ladies and gentlemen. We will do the best we can. Okay. So just getting himself an amber there, which is all right. And then we see an Archimedes. We've seen enough Archimedes, and that's it. And does end on 6. So James will be forging his first key, but Julian's sitting there now with 6. So he is ready to forge next turn. He is in a position where next turn, if he so wishes, he very much can do a bit of the old forging. Okay. So we're looking all right here. Both players, seems like a very even game at the moment. So Jargoggle comes down again. Remember, it keeps getting archived because of Archimedes, which is why it keeps coming back. When it's in the archives, you can pick up your whole archives at the beginning of your turn, and you're golden. Now, Pip comes down. Titan Librarian comes down. Now, it is on a flat. Now, it's not on a flat. There we go. Archimedes comes down, so both players have an Archimedes now. It is an Archimedes off. Archimedes, some of the rulings that have been made, has become a significantly better creature. One of the big rulings we had lately, I did a whole video about it, it's on the channel, was essentially that when Archimedes is destroyed, when there is a board wipe with Archimedes, all the creatures end up getting archived other than Archimedes, not just the ones immediately either side of it. So that really does make Archimedes much, much better. When a board wipe comes down, you end up in a significantly better position than you were in before. So that's kind of cool. That is very, very cool. So Julian stepped away from the table for a moment, probably to have a drink or something. James is sitting there, he's going, right, I got a minute, let's have a look through some discard piles. I mean, one of the things James has been able to do, and we saw the same thing with Mark in top 8, and it went very well for Mark, is he's been able to keep a bunch of Logos creatures on the board. And keeping a bunch of Logos creatures on the board means that you can use their abilities, you can reap with them, etc. So it just means you can generate a whole bunch of amber and maybe a little bit more. Hey, Ace Pokemon 2000. Yeah, chat's been very quiet so far this morning, which is alright. People might be watching while kind of pottering around. That's okay. I can be alright with this. So, where are we to? What we got? The game seems to have kind of stalled for some reason. Yulian keeps walking away from the table. James isn't doing anything. We've got a little bit of a break going on here. So, where are we? Okay. So, playing the Carpet Flotsam, I believe that is, really just for the amber. It doesn't do anything else, unfortunately, at this stage. Oh, it's a Hypno Beam. I love Hypno Beam. Hypno Beam basically just takes one of your opponent's creatures and puts it into play under your control. You just take them. Now using Tixel Beam Buckler to destroy Jargoggle, and it's like they want to make things as awkward as they can. That's kind of annoying. So, Tixel Beam Buckler, you deal 2 damage to a creature, any creature, and then basically use that to destroy Jargoggle to basically steal the upgrade. Yeah. It's being used with Phoenix Heart a lot here. This creature gains destroyed, return this creature to its owner's hand, and deal 3 damage to each creature in play. Hey ho. So we see Kolf the Quiet coming down. I think that might be another Phoenix Heart. And then, into the fray. Now, if he's going to use Into the Fray, he's going to need a way to activate Kolf the Quiet, unless he really is just discarding Into the Fray. For the remainder of the turn, a friendly Brobnar creature gains Fight Ready this creature, but he's not ready. And it doesn't ready it. And it doesn't give you an amber bonus. So he might have just discarded it, although we did see yesterday that somebody did that and then had a way to activate and then went kind of a little bit nuts. Okay. Now, is that going to do it? We've got Relentless Assault, ready and fight with up to 3 different friendly creatures, one at a time. It absolutely will. So, ready and fight with Titan Mechanic, take down Tixel Beam Buckler. And then, ready and fight with... Is he throwing Archimedes into Archimedes? Or is he using Kolf the Quiet? And, of course, the Phoenix Heart is then going to deal 3 damage to each creature. And Archimedes goes into the hand. Okay. This all gets very awkward. The Jargoggle Phoenix Heart play works because when Jargoggle is destroyed on your turn, you play the card under it. So you essentially play the card under it onto Jargoggle, and it works really quite nicely. Okay. So James here, he's got a key. He's got Kolf the Quiet out. He's got the Archimedes with the Phoenix Heart. He's got 3 amber, so he's halfway to forging his second key. He's doing all right. We got another one of those games at the moment, which is a little bit cagey, a little bit back and forth. It's not a huge, lots of kind of, I'll destroy your creatures, I'll destroy your creatures. We now see, excuse me, I believe that's another Titan mechanic coming down on a flank, so keys now cost 5. And Library of Babel. We see this play quite a lot from players. They've got like 7 amber, so they'll play a Titan mechanic down on a flank to say, right, now if you take away 2 amber to put me down to 5, I can still forge a key because I've got Titan mechanic. You've now got to either take away 2 amber and the Titan mechanic, or take away 3 amber. And then you'll be fine. Okay. So, there's 4 Archimedes on the board, ladies and gentlemen. There is 4 Archimedes on the board. That is pretty big. Now, is he another Titan mechanic? I want to say a Pit, but I could be wrong about that. And that's, yeah, we just got an Archimedes party. Oh, the internet's fixed. Yay! Don't know why. I apologize that it's been a little blurry up to now, but it has finally gone and fixed itself. I did nothing. Okay, so we've now got a nice clear picture. Apologies that the first kind of corner hour of the game was not as clear as we would like, but we fixed it now, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. So, Archimedes is going to go into the Titan mechanic. Oh, that's a Blood of Titans, not a Phoenix Heart. Okay, that was really confusing me then. Blood of Titans gives an extra 5 power, so Archimedes at the moment is actually like a 7 power beast. Took out the Titan mechanic, took 6 damage, but it survives because it's got a Blood of Titans. You know that when you wake up in the morning and your eyesight's a little bit blurry because you haven't properly adjusted, then you rub your eyes a little bit and it's all better? That's how I feel right now, ladies and gentlemen. That's how I feel. Okay. So, we got a Banish there, taking out an Archimedes. Gaining an Amber. And Julian hasn't been able to forge a key yet. Now, we do get an Ancient Yurt coming down, discarding 3 cards from his hand. And sometimes that can be a really good thing, right? Because you draw until you've got 6 cards in your hand at the end of your turn anyway. So, discarding 3 cards means you draw 3 extra at the end of the turn, and that's really good. That can be a huge advantage. But otherwise, you end up in an awkward situation where you're just discarding cards you don't want to be discarding just to play a creature. Now, Library of Babel comes down, draws James an extra card there, which is lovely. Then he plays, stop me if you've heard this one before, an Archimedes. And another creature on the end of the battle line that I cannot quite make out. No, I can't quite see it. Now, he is looking at his opponent's hand. Oh, no, he's not, sorry. Opponent was showing discard? Either way, he's got himself a bunch of amber here. So he's played Wild Wormhole as well, who's got him another amber. And James is in a great position now. He's forged a key, and he's sitting there with what looks like 9 amber. And it's not just 9 amber. Look at his board. I mean, if you look at the creatures, logos, 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 Brobnar, logos, logos. So he's actually sitting there with 7 logos creatures on the board. And you see there now, he's he can fight with them, he can archive. Now, he actually gets himself a Shadows creature there that was under Jargoggle. Takes out the Archimedes as well, which is quite useful. But now, okay, now he's down now he's down to 5, using Titan Mechanics to take out the Ancient Yerk. But the thing is, he's now got 5 Logos creatures, plus a Shadows and a Brobnar, and his opponent has no battle line. So it's not like his opponent can start wrecking them, and maybe he can, right? Maybe he's got some cards in his hand, maybe he's got an unlocked gateway or whatever. But unless he does, James could essentially win the game next turn. As it stands at the moment, James can start his next turn, forge his second key, and then he'll already have, it looks like he's sitting there on 10 amber. So he can essentially start next turn, forge his second key, have 4 amber left, and reap 5 times to put him up to 9 amber. Even if he doesn't play a single card next turn, that basically, that's... James is in a phenomenal position here. Bearing in mind, Julian hasn't forged a key, and he's going to, right? He's got 8 amber, and James doesn't really seem particularly keen on trying to get rid of Julian's amber. But he doesn't need to at this stage. It doesn't really matter. If Julian goes and forges a key, James doesn't really care. So there goes the key. And it's going to cost 9 because of the Grunt Buggy. We've got Kolf the Quiet and Archimedes. Just building it up a little bit there. So, it's a very short term, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Tixel, Beambuckler, Mindworm, Sky Booster Squadron come down. Honestly, James can reap 4 times to put him up to 7 amber, even if he doesn't play another card. Now, he might have other things. It looks like he's got a handful of Brobnar cards, so he might go Brobnar instead. Don't forget, if he does go Logos, he can use Library of Babel to draw himself an extra card. Now, as it stands at the moment, Tixel Beambuckler is a 4-power creature, Sky Booster Squadron is a 4-power creature. Neither of those are going to actually increase the cost of James forging a key. Now, they're all being stunned, but it doesn't matter. Look at all the amber. Look at all of the amber, ladies and gentlemen. And that's kind of the key point here. James has forged 2 keys, and he's now sitting there with like 9 amber. Okay, so he steals a creature with Hypno Beam. I like that play. But it doesn't matter what Julian does to James's battle line this turn. Now, if there can be another turn in the game, it's worth it. But as it stands at the moment, a bunch of amber needs to be taken away from James. Otherwise, it's not going to help. Oh, now that, ladies and gentlemen, that will absolutely help. Shatterstorm. Lose all of your amber, your opponent loses triple the amount of amber you lost in this way. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now this is incredibly relevant. Now, we do have a Pip down, and Pip incidentally stuns enemy creatures when they reap. Now we've got a whole bunch of reaping on James's creatures as well. Also a whole bunch of stun counters. But the fact of the matter is that was a game-saving play there from Julian. Now he's still very much behind. But now we look at all of the stunned creatures and we go, oh yeah, that's actually kind of annoying. And now, he's got Kolf the Quiet and he's got Drummernaut and he's got, is that a Calfine on the end of his board? I think it's a Calfine. And he's building up, and James is still in a good position. But the point here is that he's not in the position he was in before. He was about to win the game. Now he's not. Now, we did just see Julian play a Eureka. It's an alpha card, so it's got to be the first thing you do. Gain 2 amber, and you archive 2 random cards from your hand. but he gains the amber. And it's the amber he's really looking for here. Julian is still a key down. Make no mistake about that. It's not like he's suddenly about to start kind of winning the game instantly. He's still a key down. He needs to get a little bit better than this. So he does get the Library of Babel down, which is nice. Plays a Helper Bot to play an Unlocked Gateway. That is a card we have seen a lot on the stream this weekend. Reed, I should make a video, really, shouldn't I? The stars of the stream this weekend. Unlocked Gateway, very much one of the stars of the stream we saw this weekend. It's just sitting there and it gets rid of everything. And now we can see where the comeback's coming from. We got 2 Library of Babel down, which means every logo's turn, Julian's going to have 2 extra cards. He's not evened up the keys. He's not even going to next turn, incidentally. But he's still in a position where he's going to, hopefully, in the not too distant future. And this, I mean, that was huge. Now, Dysania comes down, gets rid of all of your opponent's archives, and gets a card for each one that they archived. Great anti-archiving card. Down comes Archimedes. Down comes Archimedes. Now, this is, and we literally saw this in the previous game. This is how Mark won the previous game. By using stuff like Archimedes and Memory Chip to build up a big archive of creatures and go. James doesn't need to win the game this turn because Julian's, he's only forged 1 key and he's not on check. But James is going, mate, I can reap for 6 amber next turn. Your move. Okay, it's a good move. So standardized testing destroys each creature with the highest and lowest power, which is Titan Mechanic and all the 2 power creatures. That's that's quite a lot, ladies and gentlemen. That is quite a lot. Okay. So Julian here, he's still not on check, mind you. Still only got the 5 amber. But he's done a great job using the Unlocked Gateway, using the standardized testing. It's big. It's really, really big. He's been able to kind of slow his opponent down. Every time his opponent has been, every time James has been about to kind of reap and finish out the game, it's a board wipe coming down. So now we get an Umbra, now we get a Yancey Gang, and now we get a Merkins playing the top card of his opponent's deck. It is... Ooh, lab work. Gain an Amber, archive a card. Not bad. And now he's going to end on check. Now remember, Julian is not playing Shadow, so he's not got those little stealing cards. The little ones we see from so many people, like a little bit of a Nerve Blast, a little bit of Relentless Whispers, and all of that. You don't see that for Julian like you do, for other houses like you do for Shadows. So he's gone logos here, and he's activated his first Library of Babel. Now he has got 2, so he is going to be able to draw 2 extra cards. The question is, can he get rid of any amber? To answer the question in the chat, yes, I've got a couple of store championships lined up. They're actually in the reversal format, which is you take your worst deck, and every round you swap decks with your opponent. So rather than playing with the same deck every round, you play against the same deck every round. It's a very interesting format that I'm a huge fan of. So, we do see an Igor coming down here, giving a modicum of search. I actually should mention James Aronson. I should have mentioned this earlier on in the stream. One of only 2 players who went 6-0 yesterday and went undefeated. So James is currently on an undefeated run. The other player was Teresa Rothberg, but I don't know how she's getting on at the moment. Okay. So down goes Research Smoko. Now the Grunt Buggy would stop James. No! There we go. Nothing can be done. James does Forge's final key, and James goes undefeated all the way to the final. 6-0 yesterday. One is top 8, one is top 4. Ladies and gentlemen, James has booked his place in the final. Fun, ladies and gentlemen. Lot of fun. And we are going to be back with a final rather shortly. Now, if you are on the YouTube, then do make sure you comment, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy, check out the Patreon, all that good stuff. Thank you very much for watching. Look after yourselves till next time. Bye.